Hey, my name is Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today I'm gonna tell you a really interesting story about Deep Purple that you probably don't know. But first, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comment, and if you want to read more about this, you can go to the description and visit the article we wrote about it. Well, let's start. Did you know that Deep Purple almost had the Survivor vocalist Jimi Jamison? That's right. As you know, Deep Purple, the first vocalist of Deep Purple from the first album was Rod Evans, who did a great job. But obviously, the classic Deep Purple lineup was with Ian Gillan on vocals. You had Ian Gillan, Ian Page on drums, John Lord on keyboards, Roger Glover on bass, and Ritchie Blackmore on guitar. And then after Roger Glover and Ian Gillan left, the band recruited David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes. And then in 1984, that classic lineup with Gillan and Glover were reunited again, and they were reunited until 1989. In 1984, they released Perfect Strangers, that classic album, fantastic album, and The House of Blue Light in 1987, that it's not a great album like the previous one. And in 1989, Gillan decided to leave the band again, and the band wanted to go on, so they were searching for a new vocalist. And the first choice that Ritchie Blackmore recalled in an interview with Jungle Room, he posted in his official Facebook page a while ago, and we wrote an article about that interview he gave to Jungle Room. He recalled that Jimi Jamison, who was famous for being the Survivor vocalist. I mean, Survivor is a great hard rock band, American hard rock band, and they first achieved success, obviously, with the smash hit "Eye of the Tiger," but the vocalist on that song from the era of the band was called Dave Bickler. He was the vocalist from that song, but then the band that song was part of the movie Rocky. I don't know if it was Rocky 2, I think, or 3 maybe. And then in the Rocky franchise, they were invited again to write a new song for those sequels, and one of them was Burning Heart. At that time, which was another huge hit, at that time Jimi Jamison was the vocalist of Survivor, so he was the vocalist of the track Burning Heart, for example. You probably heard that track already. And he almost became Deep Purple's vocalist back in the late 80s, as Blackmore recalled. And this is what he said. He told Jungle Room, we're going to talk about it together. This is what he said. We're going to read this together. He said, "I had seen Jamie on Survivor and I was very impressed. I remember going down to Tennessee to meet him, and I really liked him as a person. He then came up to try out with Deep Purple. We did one song, I think it was Going Down, and he was so good. I immediately stopped playing and just said, 'You're in.' He said, 'Don't you want to do more songs?' I said, 'No, you are so damn good. I know that you are perfect for the job.' We went out and celebrated at a restaurant. I was full of ideas due to his melodic, soulful voice, and he could improvise much better than a lot of singers I knew. So he had every aspect I was looking for in a singer. Very, very nice guy, very humble. Unfortunately, 2 weeks later, we were told that he couldn't join the band. We never found out why. I think it had something to do with management. I was surprised and saddened by what happened. It was a mystery to me what had gone down. It was a bad moment for me. I rated him as one of the top singers in the country. And I'm sorry for that. As you know, I'm not English is not my first language. And obviously, if you're a Deep Purple fan, you know that Deep Purple ended up with the singer Joe Lynn Turner, who was previously Rainbow's vocalist. Rainbow, which was the band created by Ritchie Blackmore after he left Deep Purple in the 70s. And they recorded with Turner the album Slaves and Masters, released in 1990. And if you see, of course, and I think, I'm going to ask you to please leave your opinion about that. But my opinion is that, it's a Rainbow album. Slaves and Masters, although is Deep Purple, but I mean, you had Ritchie Blackmore, who loved this melodic part. He wanted pop hits. That's what he tried to do with Graham Bonnet and Joe Lynn Turner on Rainbow after Ronnie James Dio left the band. So he tried to become a pop rock, hard rock band. And don't get me wrong, I love that Rainbow era too. I love Down to Earth. I love all Difficult to Cure, all those more accessible, let's say, Rainbow records. I love those songs. They have fantastic songs, and they're really power ballads. And but I think that Slaves and Masters, for example, it's exactly what Ritchie and Joe Lynn Turner were doing in Rainbow. But he had John Lord, Ian Pagey, and Roger Glover. And Roger Glover too, he was in Rainbow in a few of those albums too. So they ended up recording that album with Glover, and then with Joe Lynn Turner, and then obviously Ian Gillan returned, and then they record one more album, The Battle Rages On, and then Blackmore quit the band for good, and he never came back. And Jimi Jamison, from 1989 until 1999, he pursued a solo career, and he played with Survivor on and off back in the beginning of the 21st century, and until the 2010 and after 2010. And he recorded with the band the albums Vital Signs in 1984, When Seconds Count 1986, Too Hot to Sleep in 1988, and Reach, released in 2006. From 1991 until 2012, he released 6 solo records, and he sadly passed away too soon back in 2014 at the age of 63, way too young. And well, that's the story for today. I hope you liked the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and please visit Rock and Roll Garage. You can read more about this. Go into the description. You're going to find the link to the article about this video. Okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.